Welcome to the Nerdiverse. Go ahead, sit and listen to the masters, the old heads, talk about what you love the most. Video games, comics, movies, and everything you need to maintain. We got the knowledge that's straight out the ether. Gonna need a drink and have to take a seat to expand your mind and listen to the speaker. Mike and the squad's gonna give you what you need. Please send in a question, come and get some answers, learn a couple lessons from the masters with the special guests. We got the green lanterns glowing on their chest. Yes, please sit back and relax, cause we gonna hit you with them stone cold facts. And allow me to be the very first to welcome you to the masters of the Nerdiverse. Welcome to Masters of the Nerdiverse, where we always have such sights to show you. You can always find this podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, and now iHeartRadio. So if you're actually listening to this via iHeartRadio, welcome, and I'm happy to be part of your daily grind, our daily commute, our daily relaxation. However you take this podcast, I'm happy to be part of it. Definitely excited for this week's show, and I'm happy to say hello and welcome back, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Winter.
Yeah, what's up, my nerd bros?
My nerd brethren.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. How you been?
Well, I've been fantastic. Today has been like a roller coaster ride, which is fantastic. Yeah, where this will bleed into how was your week?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Yeah, where I interviewed someone for a podcast that I also do called The Wisecast. Check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah, and it was like I asked the question that you normally don't want to ask, like people who are becoming stand-up comedians. Like,
right.
What do you model yourself as a stand-up comedian? That's what I asked.
Okay.
And it's like I had to explain myself, which turned into like a couple of minutes of going, well, I do the same thing. It's like I like Jerry Seinfeld. It's like I have a shrine of him on my wall or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Stuff like that. And then trying to get into online poker again.
No. Oh,
yeah.
no, man.
Yeah, well, it's like I first tried to use my card to put in money, but then it kept getting rejected. I go, oh, but that's my bank telling me that they don't do international transactions like this. So you have to get a prepaid card, which I did. But by the time I was tried to use it, it was like I already tried to deposit too many times for the day. So I have to wait till tomorrow to deposit the money.
Man, I'm considering this like a sign of the universe to tell you, like, it's like, no, don't do it.
Well, it's like I'm only putting in $25.
Right.
Yeah. And like that's what I did. I used to do this back in high school, and I was able to turn 25 into like $100.
That's not bad.
Just like slowly. It took like 3 months, but
right.
It was still. I liked it. You just have to slowly grind away, and not get too carried away with like I want to bet all my money on this. Like you don't want to only bet enough money to where you can still go home.
Exactly. You don't want to show up to Vegas, in a BMW and end up leaving on a Greyhound.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's like Vegas, in my mind, Vegas would be the spot to go to if you want to both make money and also see sad faces while making money.
Jeez.
Because it's like they have the table set up for like 50-cent poker, and it's like I got all my money riding on this poker game, and then it's like you're there specifically to take their money. Poker's the only
pretty much. Yeah. The
poker is the only casino game out there where you're not playing against the house, you're playing against other players.
Yeah.
And the way that you earn a living is by looking for the people who have no clue how to play poker.
Oh, you're just looking for like you're looking for the wet fishes to go out there.
Yeah, like to relate it back to the nerd world, I would go check out the movie Rounders, and that from what I gather, a realistic portrayal. And I'm almost always the guy that they're looking for, the fish or like
Mm-hmm.
the whale, go like, I know what I'm doing, and then I have no clue. But
Yeah,
I
man.
view it as like a learning curve.
Yeah, man. I love that movie Rounders. That's
Yeah.
with Edward Norton and John Malkovich, right?
Edward Norton, Matt Damon.
Right.
Right. I think John Malkovich in it too. I know that they have a lot of like professional poker players
Yeah.
in the movie as well.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like the closest thing film has gotten to like those kind of situations.
Yeah.
And I just love that movie. It's like it's super gritty. You know what I mean? I really dig it.
They need to make a movie on this one book I read about poker. It's about just a guy's life of being like a deadbeat in Las Vegas,
Jeez.
where he's coming to the tables in like holy sweatpants and like and just like just trying to make a living. This is all based on his real life, quote unquote, of like I got high this morning, then went to and played poker. I'm like, oh, I can't even imagine that type of lifestyle.
Man,
But,
Sin City Hobbits, dude.
right?
You just show
Yeah.
up, and hopefully you'll make enough money to get some of those $10 buffets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, but that's pretty much sums up my week. That and just like get better at saving that money.
Save that money, man.
For instance, rule number 1: don't buy PUBG. That's a good way to save money.
Yeah. Rule number 2: don't buy Star Wars Battlefront 2. You'll save that money. Oh man, I did not save money this week. I spent money just Christmas stuff, and
yeah.
I bought Rise of the Tomb Raider. It was like $20 or something, so I figured I'd just dive into that game. Yeah, it was like it's one of those things where it's like I needed to pick up a new controller because my PS4 controller died. So I was like, and I was in there. I was like, I've never played this before, and I like the original, so I picked up that one, and it's been fun so far. It's almost like a Uncharted light. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of oh no moments where the earth is crumbling under your feet. You have to escape.
Yeah. Is that like a Jar Jar Binks? Oh no.
It's more like a Raiders of the Lost Ark. Oh no.
Oh. Okay.
One of the funniest things I remember as a kid is my dad laughing about Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he was like, the one thing he didn't like about the movie is like how desperate Indiana Jones was. It's like, this is the tale of a desperate man, and Laura Croft is kind of playing that role in this game.
Right.
I'm only about, honestly, like an hour in, 2 hours in, but it's fun so far. It's a really interesting game so far. And yeah, man, the only other thing I did this week was something that I'm going to be talking about at length in the MOTN Reviews podcast, is I saw Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Oh.
Yeah, man. Did you have a chance to check that out just yet?
No, unfortunately, in order to go to the movie theater, you need to plan a trip to town where I live. So.
Oh, I feel that, man. I feel that. It's like you got to gas up the car,
right.
Set up provisions.
Yeah, and the nearest movie theater, they've got a weird deal where you can't, if you're not, okay, I'm just going to go into it. If you're not a member of the movie theater, tickets cost like $15 or something like that. Yeah, but if you are a member, which is like $50 yearly or could be less, then tickets are like $10, and then you can. It's some weird system, and they they push that you should be a member. It could have changed. I know that they have a new, like, the owner is trying to change things up a bit.
Right.
Trying to be more like community based, like what type of movies because it's a small movie theater.
Yeah.
And it's like what movies do you want to see at the theater, and then we try to get them. And it's almost like it will be one movie new release, one movie that's like 2 months old, and then like a couple of classics.
That's what's up. I actually prefer the smaller theater experience than the larger, multiplex. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a bit more intimate. That way you can kind of just chill, and especially the theaters that play the classics. I love those, like going to go see like Aliens on the big screen. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that, if you grew up in the wrong time, but just no way to do it. But luckily,
Right.
Here in Los Angeles, there's a lot of theaters that offer that kind of experience.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's almost like it's analysis paralysis. Sometimes it's just like, where do I want to go? What am I close to? What's open? What's good to eat around there? But yeah, I'm gonna go into my review on that a bit deeper in another show. But I will say that I liked it. I liked it despite its faults.
Right.
And that movie is both polarizing, popular, and kind of pompous in a way. And I think it's a breath of fresh air to the series.
Yeah, I want to tell people to chill out.
Cats, they will not, man.
Yeah.
They're not chilling out at all. They're real amped and upset.
Well, like there's two sides that have like this movie has turned them to like rabid human beings.
Yes.
Where you have the one side going like, this is the worst movie since Phantom of the Menace, blah blah blah, or like you have the other side. Like I just read a headline of an article that Last Jedi is the first feminist Star Wars movie.
Oh,
It's like you're reading too much into
this damn thing. It's a fictional science fiction film. It's for you to have a good time. Like, it's just a product of our times, man. Everybody's looking for a reason to get riled up about something.
Yeah, it's a product of our times, and it also has to do with the particular way people get involved with science fiction.
Yeah,
it's almost damaging to like how like intense they get into something that is pretty much nights in space.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah. It's like people take it so seriously that it's almost like questioning their beliefs. You know what I mean? It's like they focus so much time and effort and focus into the minute details of this fictional universe that if anyone shakes that up, they feel actually attacked. You know, and what do? People don't like change. So, but yeah, the movie was good. I definitely recommend seeing it just so you can get your own view of it. You know what I mean? Don't let
and I don't want to take away from the review, but I do want to say that this director is not going anywhere. He's making the next trilogy.
And that's what I love,
yeah.
dude. I love Rian Johnson. He's a beast. He directed movies like Looper. He directed Brick, which is my favorite movie of his. Brick is awesome.
I haven't seen Brick. I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, just a real quick elevator pitch for Brick. It's pretty much a crime noir set in modern high school. It sounds goofy, but it's so good. It's so well thought. And this dude is not going anywhere, and I couldn't be happier. I love what he's doing, what his ideas are. I can see where he's trying to go, and I'm all for it. You know, people are going to get upset, and that's just anything. No matter what this movie was going to be, there is going to be that small minority, or even in this case, the halfway point of upset fans who don't like, change or don't like adjustments. But you have to deal with it. We all
and do. From what I gathered, it takes a lot of guts to do any major things in a Star Wars movie. It could be very easy for them just to go, oh, look at Chewbacca, look at Luke Skywalker, look at Princess Leia, let's all cry because she's dead. But it's
damn,
that was a little rough.
That's all right.
Jeez. But it's like it could be. They're not here to make fan fiction. They're
here to make movies, right?
Yeah,
and that's what. And I get into that too. It's like it's not your fan fiction. It's not your headcanon. These people have to tell stories that are going to last another 3 generations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, and you can look at what it would become if you look up fan fiction Star Wars on YouTube. It's like if it's a 15-minute long movie, it'll be 10 minutes of lightsaber battles.
It'll be 10 minutes of lightsaber battles and maybe one shot of the Millennium Falcon. And it's like, is this what you want? It's very frustrating dealing with a rabid fan base, especially ones that are being a bit unmoving. You know what I mean? But
and I don't want to spend too much time on this.
No, it's fine.
One more thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's Rotten Tomato. There's like an article about what happened at Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh yeah, that's what. Let's go into news. That's a very good segue into news. So
cool.
Yeah, What happened? Tell me all
Well,
about it.
so from what I get from the gist of the article, this movie that we've just been talking about, that there's some flaws. It's definitely not we would say the top movie out
Mm-hmm.
there, but it's been certified fresh from what I recall from
Right.
Rotten Tomatoes, and the reason why is because the critics themselves have like said that this was a great movie and have
Mm.
given it all these praises, but the community itself of Rotten Tomatoes has given it terrible reviews.
Yeah. It's one of those
Yeah.
things where it's like Justice League has a better community review score than The Last Jedi, and everyone's worried, and everyone's like, why? And it's really simple. People don't like change. People don't like
Right.
adjustment. People don't like to be shocked. And it's really sad. And it's like the one thing I wanted this movie to do was to shock me. And that it did. And I'm like, let's go. I'm all aboard. A lot of people don't feel that way. They want, like you said, their lightsaber fights. They want their hero to win and they want the villains to lose. And sometimes in the hands of skilled directors, things don't go that way.
Yeah. And we also now have to come to the acceptance that Star Wars is more and more becoming a children's children's franchise because this movie's going to be making money.
No matter what. No matter
Yeah.
what, right?
And now you have the influence of like Cartoon Network shows.
Well, yeah.
Like, yeah.
But that's
And
been an influence since Return of the Jedi. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, the Ewoks.
you know what I'm saying? And I will say this, is that I felt the same way too. And I'm like, it's the homogenization of Disney. And
Yeah.
it's everything becoming a bit more easily digestible. I would say that. But this movie is a big kick in the nether regions to that ideal. And that's another reason why people are so upset. Is because it took me by surprise. It's not a perfect film. I'm not going to say that. It has flaws or whatever, but I just felt like this really can be amazing if they let it be. You know what I'm saying? Like, he set it up to where they can backtrack if they want, but it'll be stupid. You know what I mean? And I don't think they're going to do that. Especially, like you mentioned, with this guy helming the next trilogy.
And they don't want the old characters anymore. That's the thing that people are going to have to accept coming onward.
And it's not even that. It's like, I was just thinking about this driving home from work the other night. It's like, you can't expect a tree to grow if you don't prune its leaves, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to let these things go, man. It's like, you can't, like, you just got to let them go and let things grow. And sometimes growth is painful, but it's necessary. And the fan base will get over it, is what it all boils down to. Because if the next movie's directed by J.J. Abrams, so he's gonna woo-saw everybody back down, give them their fan service. But after that, Ryan's coming home and he's gonna tell some stories that may not mesh with the Star Wars, historians that don't like, their canon messed with.
Yeah. Like, if I was going to write like one of the Star Wars anthology movies, what I would do is I would remove any mention of the Jedis or something like that, and turn it in and make like a crime noir space type thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like a space detective trying to solve a mystery. I don't know why I just need to have that in the nerdiverse.
And that's cool, though, man. The nerdiverse is vast, man, and that's another thing people need to learn, is that Star Wars isn't just Jedi, Sith, in the Skywalkers. It could be anything you want. You can make a romantic comedy set in the Star Wars universe and it'll make sense. You can make a horror film set in the Marvel. Yikes!
That'd be nice.
Can you imagine a horror film based off Star Wars? That'd be crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, like, you got to get over these common tropes that have made the series what it is, but you can expand. Like, if I was to do one of those anthology films, I would do a single off of the Knights of the Old Republic.
That's good.
I would take the Skywalker family completely out of it.
Yeah.
And have a whole new set of Sith and Jedi in their prime and do that. And something similar to you, I would do something a bit more grounded. Like you said, like yours would be a crime noir. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
You do an organized crime style Goodfellas in space type movie
Right.
with Jabba the Hutt.
With the
The Hutt.
Hutts, right? That's a
Yeah.
great idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
would want to do
Ray
something.
Liotta can play Jabba the Hutt, and from Goodfellas.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Paul Sorvino plays the
Yeah.
Hutt, right?
There you. Oh, yeah. There you
Hell, nah, man. I would have the horrors of the Outer Rim and have like a family on Tatooine be stalked by a beast that no one can identify. You know what I'm saying? I'll just do a
Yeah.
horror film in Star Wars and just do it. And
Well,
it's
you would
just,
have to tie it in with the universe. So I would say the beast from Return of the Jedi that's
yeah,
underneath. Yeah,
that
have
snow.
like the origin story.
Yeah, man. All right. And you know what? You can just get the Jim Henson Workshop to cook you up something brand new. You know what I'm
Right?
saying? As long as there's like a little callback to the universe, like you said, it could
Yeah.
be on Mos Eisley, it could be on Tatooine, it can be on Jakku, wherever. You know what I'm saying? It's just people need to let this stuff and it's kind of counterproductive to the nerdiverse because the nerdiverse is all about the stuff. It's about the granular workings of the universe, but you can't take it so seriously. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You give yourself a heart attack. You know, you can't get so fervent about things that are in flux. You know, all this stuff
Right.
is always in flux. You know what I mean? You gotta let it. You gotta be like water, my friend. To quote another epic nerd, Bruce Lee. You gotta be like water, man. You just gotta
Be like water.
And if you
Yeah.
and if you think your ideas are better, create something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Easy as that. Can't complain if you're not contributing. Real talk. Like, if you feel like your ideas are better, write a comic. You know, write a script. You know what I'm saying? Just do it. Because, you know, and just, you know, that's the birth of most great things is why doesn't this exist? I'll do it. You know? There
True.
you go. Man, let's get into this news, man. There's a one big news thing, but let's get into the smaller things first.
Yeah.
Just to knock them out. Did you happen to check out that Annihilation trailer with
Yeah. Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman, the Portmans?
Isn't Jason Lee in it? Did I see Jason?
Yeah, I think Jason Lee's in it, and
Randy.
Randy.
My name is Earl.
My name is Earl. I used to love that show because it was so dumb.
Yeah.
But it was so awesome at the same time, and everyone acted their asses off.
Thanks,
man. Crazy. Oh, is this Earth? Are we on Earth in this trailer? Do you get that vibe?
Oh, yeah, I think it's on Earth.
It's Earth, right?
Yeah.
And something jumped off, and now we have to deal with it, kind of thing. And
yeah, well, from what I gather, it's like if you remember a certain section of the TV show Fringe, where they had to like wall off a certain part of the universe, put in this like containment wax sort of thing.
Right.
That's what I picture this movie is kind of like.
That's a good pull. You know, it's like maybe it's some kind of new ecosystem that just happened to land on Earth. And
right.
Maybe it's expanding. Maybe it's kind of like a rival where it's just there. And of course, humans are curious, so they have to look into it, and calamity ensues. We've been getting a lot of science fiction films like this. I've noticed, like the more serious, like almost grounded in more science than fiction, but with serious tones. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, Christopher Nolan kind of set the bar for that, so now everyone has to
Copy,
their movie. Yeah.
It's a genre. You know, genres happen. And I'm gonna go see it. I'm not a big fan of Natalie Portman, but I like thoughtful science fiction.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to know what's going on with this thing. So I'm down for it. You got a ticket out of me using my movie pass.
Yep. You don't want to tell people about it.
Don't tell people about it. I'm sorry, I can't plug it anymore, dude. I can't. Sorry. If you don't know what it is, if you don't know, now you know. Oh,
right.
Man.
Or you could spend $500 and have like the movie stream at your home or something like that.
I'm okay. I'll leave that to like cats like P. Diddy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who's watching like The Last Jedi at his house and shit. I'm all right with that. Can you imagine? Like the ultimate pay-per-view. It's like, do you want to watch Infinity War in the theaters or on your laptop? Oh, it's so horrible. Like, something's to be said about the community of theater going. You know what I mean?
Right. Although there is one of the great examples of movie at your house being played would be if you take what Quentin Tarantino does, which is I don't know if you heard about what he does. It's he has all these reels of movies of exploitation films and stuff like that. And what he'll do is he has a movie theater at his house. He'll splice in trailers for movies similar to what they're about to see into the film, and it'll always be a double feature.
That's
and
dope.
then he'll show two movies that he likes, and then these trailers will be just about look how wacky these other movies are.
Man, that guy has a lot of time on his hands, dude.
Right.
That's what's up, man. It's but he's a film meister, so I can see him doing something cool like that. You know, everybody wants to go to Quentin's house to check out, 5 Deadly Venoms with, Born Invincible, and he slices in all these other kung fu movies that he's digging. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And he's expanded the idea now to a movie theater that I believe he still owns.
Yeah, there's one in L.A., isn't it? Or one
yeah.
I need to go there. I haven't been there before. Gotta check it out, man.
I'm curious, by the way, so if you go I want to go see a movie, is it a movie theater 5 minutes away from you, almost anywhere you go? Is there that many movie theaters?
I'm gonna tell you how it is, Winter. If I'm standing on my porch at my house and I'm looking at the majesty of the world, right?
Yeah.
And I trip and I fall, and when I get up, I'm getting popcorn.
Okay.
It's like that. It's kind of. I live in, and a lot of people are very secretive about where they are. I live in LA. Everyone's from everywhere, and
everyone is from everywhere.
Everyone's from everywhere, man. It's all love. And there's no shortage of theaters out here, just because it's such a populated little area. So I have a theater maybe 3 miles away from my home. Then I have another theater maybe 5 miles away and in the opposite direction. And then there's the good theater, which is 10 miles away. And then there's the really, really good theater, which is 20 miles away. And it just depends on where I'm at in the city. And to quote Clueless, everything in LA takes 20 minutes. So it's just where are we going tonight? Oh, we're going to be in Santa Monica? Let's go check out a movie at the Third Street Promenade. Or, oh man, we're in Manhattan Beach. Oh, there's 3 theaters in that city alone. Take your pick, right?
Because it's I've thought about in the brief past, the short past, whatever. Thought about moving to LA.
Yeah.
But it's what I hear from a lot of people is you don't actually live in LA. You want to live around LA.
Yeah.
So you can go in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some inside baseball for you. Don't live in LA. Unless you got a hookup. Unless you got a uncle that owns an apartment building, or someone who has a duplex and you can just get in the house, because living single in LA is damn near impossible unless you're pretty well off.
Right.
And then living with one roommate can be expensive. Living with 3 roommates may be manageable depending on your living situation. So you want to live in adjacent cities and you want to commute. You know what I mean? Unless you just luck up and and know someone who lives in town. It's just way too expensive, man.
Thousand Oaks.
Exactly. You don't want to live in Thousand Oaks, man. I wish I could afford Thousand Oaks or Malibu, or
Well, I could only throw out Thousand Oaks because I played a few concerts there.
That's sick, dude. That's
or Camarillo. Camarillo was where I did it.
Man, Camarillo. Yeah, there's a real good strip mall out there. I bought some Timberland boots there a long time ago. Oh, those boots were so heavy. It's so dumb. Oh man. Speaking of dumb things.
That's the end for LA talk.
LA cast.
Yeah.
Bring money. Welcome to LA. Bring money. In Long Beach. Represent Long Beach. Represent all my Long Beach heads out there. Oh, there's a Chinese food place called Tasty Goody. It's
Of
heaven.
course it is.
It's
Of course
legit.
it's called Tasty Goody.
It's legit heaven. There's like little
Yeah.
cherubs that give you egg rolls. It's godlike. Oh man. So, have you ever played Ghost Recon games? Do you play Ghost Recon stuff?
Oh, I love like if it has the name Tom Clancy on it, I'm probably
Yeah.
gonna get it.
I was a big
Yeah.
Splinter Cell guy back in the day with Sam Fisher and all that.
Yeah.
So I was really tempted, and I saw this article, and I'm like, this is just another reason for me to maybe pick up this game, because there's a campaign where you get to actually hunt or be hunted by the Predator.
Right.
And it looks super dope. And I saw someone actually run the campaign over this last weekend, and it's very faithful to the movie. And Predator is like one of my favorite movies as a kid. Predator and Predator 2. We don't talk about anything else named Predator. Just those two. Danny Glover and Arnold Schwarzenegger tearing things up.
All right.
And it makes me want to buy the game, because even just for that little part, maybe I'll Redbox it or something. But,
yeah, that's what I did with the Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yeah.
It's like I heard good things about it, but then once you actually start playing it, it's kind of boring if you don't have like people playing it with you.
Yeah, like a squad, huh?
Yeah. And even with a squad, there's like way too much, like you have to coordinate with each other.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the faulty issue of like gamers do not really coordinate well with other gamers.
No, they don't. You have to have a legit squad of people you know and laugh with and coordinate and have cell phone numbers with.
Yeah.
Playing MMORPGs taught me like you need Discord, you need OBS, you need Skype, you need friends, like not people you just not pubs as they say.
Right.
You need like homies, like bro, what time you get off work? All right, let's hit this Overwatch. Let's go. You know.
Yeah.
You need a squadron to play these games. Otherwise, playing solo giant games like that gets very lonely. And it's something to say about video games, that some games can just make you feel lonely. Like, I'm tired of running pub games with people who don't care. You know what I'm saying? Aren't organized, or aren't talking to each other, are cussing and being racist and all types of weird stuff that online gaming breeds, you know?
Yeah.
Man, that's why I tell people all the time, go on Reddit, join Reddit forums, try to squad up with like-minded people, man. It makes games so much funner.
Yeah. Reddit's pretty cool. I've recently started using it. It was like
me too, honestly.
The first week of using it, that's when I found your call for another co-host.
Yes, sir.
And it was like, oh, Reddit's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. You know, and then history happened. Reddit's this giant conch shell. You just whistle into the atmosphere. Yeah. And maybe that right person will heed the call. You know what I'm saying? But I just need to master Reddit like anything else. You know what I mean? It's just
right.
A certain way. Reddit's really like, I had a buddy trying to explain this to me, but Reddit's really like one of those things where it's the actual pulse of information. You know what I mean? In community. And usually a lot of things that break through Reddit, a Reddit post or someone who's connected to Reddit. So I'm something I'm still learning. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think Reddit every day, and I try to jump in there and just see where people are talking about and comment and connect with people. I did that too on Google Plus. I just signed up the podcast for Google Plus.
Nice.
I just joined a bunch of communities of like-minded stuff. The Marvel community, video game community, retro games, DC. I'm just having conversations with people. I had like a 3-hour argument with this guy about oh my goodness, about if Doctor Strange could beat Thanos. And I'm just like, no. And he's like, but Doctor Strange in the 1987 issue destroyed XYZ. I'm like, dude, man.
Nerd alert.
Yeah, but I love it. You know, that's my element. I love it.
Yeah.
So I was going back and forth with him. And it's just like, that was quick. Like, I didn't even have to work to find a buddy, you know, like to connect with somebody and to have that brand, to have Masters of the Nerdiverse responding to him. And for maybe him to say, oh, it's a podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's really cool.
Hopefully he's listening to it now.
Hopefully you're listening to it now. By the way, you didn't win the argument. I let you win, bruh. No, it was fun. I love having intellectual arguments with people on your level, so that's pretty dope. Talking about getting on your level, let's talk about power levels, man. Dragon Ball Z Fighters is coming out in February. I cannot wait for this fighting game. Just plug it into my veins, as Barney would say. So they.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with you.
Yes. Plug it into my veins. It begins. So.
But could you help me out with explaining one of these characters here?
Yes.
So I know, because I like Dragon Ball Z. I'm just not a scholar, probably such as yourself, in Dragon Ball Z.
So what have to be.
So what is Goku Black?
Okay, this is extremely complicated.
Yeah.
Let's just get into it. Okay, so there's an arc of Dragon Ball Z, of Dragon Ball Super, where there are these Kaioshins, they're kind of like gods that govern a certain quadrant, right? Like in Dragon Ball Z, when Goku dies and goes to that real small planet, King Kai is a Kaioshin. He's like one of these guys, these protectors of Earth and maybe their adjacent galaxy. So what happens is there's a Kaioshin across the galaxy that wants to take over a quadrant. And I'm paraphrasing this, so Dragon Ball Z heads, please don't bite my head off. I'm trying to remember this off memory. And he needs the perfect body to pretty much complete his ambitions. So he goes to the future and pretty much creates another timeline where he kills Goku's family and takes over his body. So Goku is inhabited by the spirit of a god. And then that guy goes into the future where he then tries to kill Trunks and take over the future when a lot of the Z fighters are already dead. So Goku Black is a evil version of a Goku from a different timeline.
Okay.
Well, can I stop yet? Is
you
it over?
Can stop.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
He has pink hair and he's a beast. That's all I can say. It's extremely complicated, and Trunks goes back to the past to get Goku and Vegeta, who then go to the future to stop Goku Black, but Goku Black's too strong, so they lose and go back to the past and train while Trunks stays there, and there's a militia. And
okay, my brain is hurting now.
I'm starting to nosebleed out. I'm starting to bleed out myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, Goku Black's a playable character. And it's mostly characters from the Super. And Dragon Ball Z Super is, for those who aren't keeping up, is the latest run of Dragon Ball episodes. So there's Dragon Ball Z, the unmentionable, the series that shall not be named, the Dragon Ball GT, which is Grand Tour, which is not canon anymore. And then there's now this Dragon Ball Super, which is what's the episodes that are running now. So all the characters that they have recently announced was Beerus, who's the god of destruction, new character. Goku Black, the villain of one of their major arcs, new character. Yeah. And the intergalactic, interdimensional hitman, simply named Hit, is a playable character now.
Now, shout out to Dragon Ball Z. Get better names.
Come on, man. Like, if you think about it, it's very simple. Like, a lot of anime names are very literal, like, names in their native tongue. Like, you know, like Bleach with Byakuya, his Zanpakuto. I'm getting so nerdy right now, but I love it. His Zanpakuto is called Sebon. It's called like Sebon Sakura, and it's pretty much like red. And it translates to like red, like rose petals or something like that. And his weapon just literally turns into rose petals and slices you up, and each petal's a blade, and it's anime awesomeness. But other names are always like Vegeta's just vegetable. You know what I'm saying?
Which I can handle.
You know, like Brawly is just broccoli. You know, all the Saiyans are named after vegetables. You know what I mean? In Japanese. So it's like, they've never been too creative when it comes to that. But it sounds cool when you say it in a non-Japanese atmosphere. So,
right.
Yeah. But Hit's a very lazy name.
Yes.
I can't argue with that. That's an extremely lazy name, but the character is super dope. Cool, man. Now that we got all that out the way, let's get to the news of the week.
I know. This is exciting stuff right here.
So, Disney officially buys 21st Century Fox, most of their commercial and their public earnings for a whopping 52.4 billion with a B dollars, and changes the faces of Hollywood probably forever.
Yeah, it's the amount of companies that are making films. There is now very foreseeable where like a whole section of the theater that you go to is all Disney connected films.
That's kind of scary. Like,
yeah,
it's a very scary atmosphere for creativity.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Or the monopoly. I wouldn't call it a monopoly because there's still plenty of like fish in the sea. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to, but a big chunk of that sea is Disney, right?
Well, it's like this is what I was talking about on another podcast where we were discussing how every year it's becoming harder and harder for like non-franchise movies to make a dent. You know what I mean?
Right.
So in my view, that means that they're just going to find another venue. So shout out to YouTube or Vimeo or like Netflix original series. But it's going to be a day where like we're already in a weird spot where 20 years from now, or not 20, but we'll say like 10. 15 years from now, we know like what the movies are going to be coming out. There's going to be a Star Wars movie. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a Marvel movie. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a DC movie. Mm-hmm. And let's just throw Mad Max and Harry Potter in that.
Yeah, and what's funny is that one of those other movies you mentioned is probably now owned by Disney. You know, so it's like I'm super split down the middle with this because I want the Fantastic Four and the X-Men back as much as the next red-blooded Marvel fan. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm extremely ecstatic for that, but at what cost, right? Like, at what costs? It's And I'm hearing noise about how the government's trying to put like the brakes on this deal because they're seeing it as some form of monopoly. I don't know the full story, but I kind of saw it, and I'm like, if everything fell apart, that would be horrible, and it would break a lot of people's hearts. But I don't know how to feel about this. It's like as a comic book fan, I know exactly how I feel. Like, let's do it, let's rock. I want my Marvel Presents MCU Fantastic Four movie, but Disney doesn't need to own The Simpsons. You know, Disney doesn't need to own the Predator and Alien and X-Files.
That's a huge problem. Yeah, you're right.
They don't need all that. Like, they don't need to own like parts of Fox Sports. They don't need to own, all this stuff. It's almost like you go to a restaurant and you're Big Daddy Warbucks and they're like, I want to order fries. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, apparently the deal doesn't cover the Fox channel. So what I gather.
It doesn't cover Fox News.
Okay.
I think it covers FX.
Yeah.
It covers
they really
Fox.
dodged a bullet there with Fox News.
I'm sure they left that road apple on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, Aichi, wow. They weren't trying to. They said, no, we're all right. You guys could be evil, like corporate racists over there. You guys
you do you. You do you. You do you.
Yeah. And just don't come in my house, And if you do take your shoes off, because you're dragging in mud. But this thing is so crazy, and the number's crazy, and like you said, the little guy is gonna hurt.
Right.
It's not, Warner Brothers. It's gonna be always Warner Brothers. You know what I'm saying? Columbia, Sony. Maybe Sony may not be around. Those guys are idiots. But but the little guy, the indie films, they're gonna have to find alternate means of expressing themselves. But then again, every year there's some indie darling that comes out that blows everybody's minds. But people forget there's small, like little film distributions that are still owned by Disney. You may not even know that it says something like Moonlight or La La Land may have some subsidiary that's owned by Disney. You know what I mean? Like, and they'll be smart not to advertise it. Not everything is going to be Disney Presents. I have a strong feeling a majority of all the Fox stuff is going to remain Fox stuff. Like, you're not going to see Mickey Mouse and The Simpsons anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? Like, that'll be dumb for them to do that.
Yeah. it's like what they do with because when you immediately say Disney, then you're going to go children's movie.
Exactly.
And that's just and that's why they don't do it with I don't think they have like the Disney production presents in front of a Star Wars film.
No, because it's smarter
like
that way.
Yeah.
It's like I always mention Miramax because that's one of the film companies that make some of the bloodiest, goriest, cussingest movies you can see.
Right.
But it's owned by Disney. They let them do their thing as long as they make money.
Yeah. Well, I think Miramax is having other issues at this point.
At this point, that's maybe a bad example, but
yeah,
it's an eclipse. It's not a dark day, but it's not a completely bright day because it's kind of dirty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it makes.
And just to throw it out there, it's now Disney now owns ABC and Fox.
How does that sound? That's broken. That's busted, right? It's like, 2 of the 3 options to put the Super Bowl are now ours. You know what I mean? It's usually ABC, NBC, or Fox that get the Super Bowl. So now 2 of those are owned by the same company. Is that a monopoly? Kinda? Maybe? Yes. But I get my Fantastic Four and I get my X-Men with my Spider-Man, so I guess I'm happy.
Yeah.
And and I don't want to be that guy. So I don't want to cut off my nose to spite my face when it comes to a situation like this. You know what I mean? But I guess if that's what they got to do, then that's what they did. And Fox didn't have to sell. You can always say no, but I heard Fox hasn't been doing that well anyway. So they were in a position to sell off their assets and create this monster,
right?
This smiling, happy monster, that is gonna, encapsulate all of cinema at some point. But who knows?
Right.
They may be good guys about it, but they're gonna make their money, and that's at the end of the day,
Yeah, and I think there might be an issue there. At least one director that I know of has expressed issue of Disney sticking their fingers into the content that they create over on Fox. For instance, The Exorcist, which just finished its 2nd season.
Yeah.
And there's talks about definitely a 3rd season coming. They'd like to do it, but the director is skeptical that will happen because they have not a big fan base, but like a fan base that is very loyal, sort of thing. And it's a 10 o'clock show,
right?
So I think they could get away with having that be the case. And they're also, it's like it touches on issues that Disney doesn't really want to touch on a lot.
But that goes back to Disney, like letting everybody play in their own yard.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And Disney's very sensitive about pissing people off. They're not going to deliberately piss people off. You know what I mean? They've never. If you go to Disneyland, I used to work at Disneyland, and they would rather have someone steal in front of your face than to make a scene. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally a kid open up a bag of candy and shove it down his throat. You can't say anything. You can't.
I'm going to try that next time.
It will work. But you'll get arrested in the parking lot where no one can see you. That's how they operate. So if Disney's like, it's going to cost us a little in the red to let The Exorcist run if it has a diehard fan base, we're going to let it rock. You know what I mean? They're not going to blow up the spot. At least not immediately. It's not. It's going to be a gradual burn. You know what I mean? And things that don't make money are out, and things that can make money will be back. Like the X-Files under Disney marketing is probably going to get a resurgence. What it's going to be, who knows, man?
Well, I predict that they're already on set doing another couple of episodes next year, another series.
Right.
And then what they're going to do is take it's going to be called X-File Gamma Section or something like that. And
Gamma Quadrant.
And it's going to be like 2 new agents.
So what, they're going to give it the soft reboot is what you're thinking? Chihuahua, man.
Or like they did for 24 Hours Legacy.
Jeez. I mean, that's just that's just IP management. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
we have this IP that made money at some point. It's dead. How do we revive it? Are any of the actors still alive? Yes. Do they want to do it? No. We'll figure it out. It's like with Twin Peaks, right? It's like,
Yeah.
they had to pull teeth to get their director back, and most of the cast. A lot of people didn't want to do it.
Right.
But I think with Disney, it's going to be, oh, Neil Blomkamp still wants to make that Alien movie. Let's give it to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, or, oh, this Predators movie. Let's see how it does. Because everything that's already in the fire is going to happen. Disney's not going to close down any production that's made production. They're going to let things go with business as usual.
Right.
But after that is when things are gonna either change for the better or for the worse. And I doubt it's gonna be for the worse, because Disney doesn't really make major mistakes like that, honestly.
Now, if we can please get the Great Mouse Detective reboot that I've been asking
for. You're preaching to the choir, man. I want my live action Aristocats movie.
Oh my goodness.
Live action.
That's on the borderline of being gold or an abomination.
It's going to be a beautiful disaster, man. It's going to be a 311 song. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, Disney will do it. They got the money, man. They got the clout.
Yeah. I can already picture Kevin Hart being a part of it somewhere. So
I hate Kevin Hart so much. It's an oversaturation of a human being, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's they do it to all of them.
Yeah,
you know?
Go ahead.
No, I'm just sorry. They do it to all the comedians that are hot. They burn them out. You know what I mean? Like Will Ferrell got burned out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Kevin Hart got burned out. Eddie Murphy got burned out.
Eddie Murphy had other issues as well.
Eddie Murphy had issues, man.
Yeah.
You know, like Cat Williams got burned out. Dave Chappelle literally got burned out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, comedians have it rough in Hollywood.
Well, I think Cat Williams is another one that had other issues going on. Like, have you seen that video?
Yeah, where he got socked out by the 10-year-old or something like that.
Yeah.
Cat Williams, man, that guy he's nuts, man. But I mean, everybody has their hard time. I'm not gonna knock the dude.
Yeah.
It's just, when you have a spotlight on you, it amplifies your faults. You know what I'm saying? So,
sure.
Comedians by nature are kind of interesting human beings already. You know what I mean? So it's like, having that super spotlight put on you can, you know, amplify anxieties. You start doing crazy shit. You know?
That's true.
Like getting socked out by 10-year-olds on camera. You know?
Or become Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's nuts right now.
It breaks my damn heart, dude. It breaks my heart. Because he has such a big heart, and he just doesn't know what he wants to do. You know? And it seems like a wayward soul. It really hurts my heart, man.
Well, he's doing this thing now that he says that Jim Carrey's dead now, and then he wants people to not talk to him in the first person. They want him to say, "So what's Jim Carrey like?" to his face. And then he'll go, "Jim Carrey is a man of many talents."
Oh, jeez.
And he made Norm Macdonald on Norm Macdonald's show do that. He's like, "No, what about Jim Carrey's life?" that's a terrible Norm Macdonald.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, got any gum?
Right.
Yeah, got any gum? No. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's like, you know, the older you get, the less shit you give. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you start like making weird demands of people that may not accommodate you. You know what I mean? Like, I hope I don't reach an age where I'm talking to myself in the third person.
Well, I just heard a crazy story about Bill Cosby.
He's rough right now. He's like blind. Like he's up there, dude.
Well, like what he would do, like if he was performing at a casino. This is from an interview of a comedian. He would, if he was going to perform at a casino, he would have dinner and then have the restaurant watch him eat.
It's fucking weird, dude. Like,
yeah,
I had an experience.
And then have his like if he's going to bed, his bodyguard had to tuck him in at night.
All right. I had I used to work at a drugstore back when I was a kid, you know, in high school job, whatever.
Yeah. Good old days.
Good old days.
Working at a drugstore.
Working at a drugstore. Yeah. Getting my Oxycontin, no problem. No, I'm just kidding.
Yep.
But I had Steve Harvey clear out a bathroom so he can take a piss, kick people out the stalls and shit.
Well, that's Steve Harvey. You gotta accommodate Steve Harvey.
He's a fucking asshat.
We got a good one for you tonight. We have the White family.
I can't stand that man. I have an unconsuming passion about that. I would physically fight him in the streets if I saw him.
Yeah.
No, yes. Actually, yes. Yeah, stars are weird, and they only get weirder the older they are. You know what I'm saying? Ugh, man. That's good news, man. Like, I just don't know if the Disney thing is a good idea, but time will tell. And as soon as I see my Fantastic Four trailer, then I'm sated. Even if that means I'm drinking Disney brand water from my Disney brand house and taking the Disney brand bus to my Disney brand job. You know?
Or they could have just inherited like cancer, for instance. Like it could be the Fantastic Four could blow up the entire like superhero franchise for a few years.
Is going to be one of the most delicately handled films that they come out with in the next 10 years. You know why? Because it's failed every single time. No one's done it right. X-Men has been done right. You know, X2 is one of my top 5 superhero movies of all time. X2 is amazing, right? But Fantastic Four, bruh? No, it's been garbage forever. So every single writer, all the guns are going to be pulled out to make that mess great. But who knows? It may be that ticking time bomb that blows up superhero films, because it's going to be one. It's going to happen. Happens to all genres, right? Like genres burn and then they burn hot and then they burn out. Yeah. But I don't think superhero movies are going anywhere ever. It's going to be one of those things where the new hotness will come. They may not be as hot, but there will always be a superhero film.
Like breaking news: Ron Howard directing Fantastic Four.
If you were here, I'll punch you in the arm. I'll punch you in your bicep. Yeah. That makes my
back to Mayberry.
Back to Mayberry. Oh man, I'd rather his brother direct the movie than damn Ron Howard.
Clint out. Yeah.
I'd rather have Clint direct it.
Yeah, I directed it all on a VHS cassette tape, and I used all my band's music.
I directed Apollo 13 off the back of a Trix box. I wrote it out.
Or like, it's like, I wanted to make this a very artsy film, so this is a direct sequel, not uncanonizing all the other Fantastic Four movies except for the German-made one that was made back in the day. This is a sequel to that one. That's what everyone wanted, right?
Everyone wants The Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion to play during the last scene of the Fantastic Four movie. He thought it was a good idea. The Rock is going to play Susan Storm. What the fuck? It's like, okay, Clint, that makes perfect sense. You have all the monies. Oh, man. Let's get into these questions, shall we? Let's get into some questions. You may say, Mike G, you may say, Winter, I want to ask you a question, and I want my question read on the podcast, and I will accommodate you because I am a nice guy. You can send those questions to mastersofthenerdiversecast@gmail.com. You may say, Mike, I didn't hear you. I was being chased by the Rawhead Rex in the Hills of Ireland. Can you repeat that? I'll be like, fine. You can actually send your emails to mastersofthenerdiversecast@gmail.com. Man, I should do commercials.
Yeah.
I want to do like commercials that is about a product, but there's crazy shit happening in the background. Like I'm talking about OxyClean, but there's literally a werewolf eating people in the background, like Viscera. That's my dream.
I like that. Yeah. Or you could be the new Old Spice dude.
Yeah, I want me and Eric Andre to make a commercial and it just be complete madness.
Oh, jeez.
That's my dream. I want to work with that man. Even though I kind of don't, because I heard he's kind of an asshat, but I just want to make crazy.
Shit, you live in LA. You got connections.
I super don't. I know no one. I know nothing and no one.
but from like the time that we've talked to each other, like over these last few episodes, you've mentioned that you've met Seth MacFarlane in a bathroom.
Yeah.
You've talked about Steve Harvey kicking people out of a bathroom.
Yeah. It's here's the thing, man. When you live in LA, like that happens, but it's not what you think, man. It's just like it's like running into a friend from high school that didn't like you. so they won't engage you, but you
That
see
happens to
them,
me all the time. That's
right?
fine.
Yeah, it's like I remember one time, real quick, I was in Smart and Final and I ran into Bruce Willis, and he was in line picking up staplers or some shit,
Yeah.
and no one noticed him because he was wearing like a ball cap and he's kind of older. And I noticed him. He looked me in the eye and he gave me the real quiet shush, like he just put his fingers to his lips and was like, "No, don't see me."
Like
Like
he
was
could
fucking
see in
Dracula
your
or some
eyes
shit. Yeah, he looked
that
into my
you're
soul.
about to shout, "Die hard!"
Yeah, he looked in my eyes and knew I was about to blow him up. And he gave me the quiet, like David Bowie. He gave me the "just you shut your mouth."
Yeah.
And I was
$50.
like, and I was like,
$50.
yes. I was like, yes, sir. And he bought his staplers and his bottle of sparkling water, and he kept it pushing. And I was like, oh, at least wanted to say hi. You know?
Yeah.
That's LA for you. Questions?
But
yeah.
I love that type of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it just happens, and it's like I love like dinner table conversation, and that would be like a story I would tell like my family like after a meal and go, oh yeah, nothing happened too much today. I picked up my prescription and then I saw Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
And then I picked up, like, wait a minute, you saw Bruce Willis? What's going on here?
And what it is that I used to live by LAX, which is the biggest airport in Los Angeles. So a lot of stars come in and out of there. You know what I mean? So they frequent all the places like the In-N-Outs and the Staples and the Smart and Finals and drugstores and stuff like that. So you just run into them. So
these actors and actresses are real life people?
Kinda. Some of them aren't.
Yeah.
Some of them think they're not, and it's kind of funny. Like, I can tell you some stories, but those are for another podcast. Just hashtag Chris Rock's an asshole.
This has been Stars of the Boardwalk.
This has been Stars of Mike G and Winter go over the tabloids, the wicked stories of yesteryear. Winter, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want your most honest of answers, your most candid of responses. What's your favorite board game of all time?
Settlers of Catan.
Nice.
If not Risk, or if not chess, it would have to be Settlers of Catan, I think.
Explain to our beautiful nerdiverse what exactly Settlers of Catan is.
All right. So, do your parents complain about the amount of violence in your board games? Then look at this game. I totally blew it up. Settlers of Catan is a Euro style game. Break it down easily. There's no killing involved, and it's only bent up aggression against the actual players themselves.
Arguments
festers for hundreds of years till the next world war takes place.
Nice.
And
bent up aggressions.
Yeah. And like you're trying to get clay, you're trying to get these other things to build houses and roads, and it's great. And it brings fond memories because I would play it. I would play the original German copy of it in my hometown, and the guy we would need someone to translate it for us, and it would be the father of the girl that I was playing with.
Yeah.
And the father would play, and then it would always end up with me like destroying his plans, and he would start punching me in the shoulder.
Jeez. So there was violence.
Yeah. Well, it's like that's okay violence, because that's just like playful American, like I'm gonna just punch you in the face.
Yeah, we just punch each other all day.
Yeah.
It builds gumption.
Right.
Put some sweat on your brow.
But it's like I don't want to be the scholarly nerd and say like I like chess as well. Chess is a board game. It's one of the oldest board games.
It's probably one of the oldest board games. Yikes.
Yeah. Well, checkers beats it. But,
True.
Yeah, and backgammon beats both of them.
Backgammon beats everyone, dude. No one
yeah. But yeah, I like getting into chess. There's like a few other board games, and I wouldn't. This is a tabletop game, but I do like role playing games as well.
Oh yeah. Good answer, man. Like, I can't say anything as intellectually stimulating as Settlers of Catan. My favorite game was Sorry.
Oh jeez.
Because I like the little pop button you would pop.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know how to play the game. I would just pop the button until it drove my mother crazy because I like the little pop sound it made, and I would do that over and over for like 6 hours straight to the
Yeah.
point where my mom had to burn the actual board in front of me to show that she was over it. Like real hardcore stuff. I was like, because the thing is that I didn't sleep as a kid. Like I was one of those kids who were just up all the time. My brain was constantly chugging. So I would do like little beats with the pop, and I would like alternate it, and
Yeah.
I would do pop Morse code when I wanted stuff. Like I was really irritating with it. And so my mom like busted a blood vessel in her brain and just destroyed it, and was like, that was it for sorry. And I said I was sorry. So it was like the perfect board game.
Yeah.
Everything
The game I
worked
liked
out.
the game that I liked as a childhood, if we were going to use that as a starting point, would be Risk.
Risk was dope. That's one of the first board games I learned how to play. Like legit learn.
Yeah. And I like just saying Kamchatka brings back memories.
Good ones or bad ones?
So some of them are good. Some of them are like, okay, I'm no longer in this game, but I'm just watching these people piling up armies, and then turns into like a 15-minute like dice roll fest, like
right,
just chugging away.
Jeez,
and yeah,
good times, man, good times. Second question I have for you.
All right.
What's a good series that maybe video games, film, television that switched genres in the Switch actually worked? That come to mind for you?
A cheap answer would be Saints Row.
Right. What did that? Oh my goodness, that went from 0 to 60, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, it was like it changed from like a competitor to Grand Theft Auto. Then it turned into, well, there's aliens involved.
Right.
And then there's like, well, it turns out everyone's in hell. And then, yeah, that sort of thing. That was an interesting series. But for film, I would have to say the best answer for genre switching is the Robert Rodriguez directed film, Quentin Tarantino written film, From Dusk Till Dawn.
Right, yeah. That really... One cool thing about From Dusk Till Dawn, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time, because I love that they, even in the marketing, they really tried to hide what this movie was. And honestly, it's hard to explain. It starts as a heist film,
right,
and it goes to almost like a criminal film, and then it goes to a siege film, then it goes to a horror film. So it's like, it's just one of those scripts that you just can't turn away. You know what I mean? It's very well written.
Yeah. And the first season of the TV show did it pretty well, where like the first, well, I can't say that. They didn't.
You mean on the El Rey network?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the only show I watch on the El Rey network.
I just watched kung fu movies on it.
Yeah. And yeah, I would recommend seeing the TV show. It's on Netflix.
Cool. Like, if I had to think of one video game wise, it's one of those situations where you die, if you don't die the hero, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Okay.
And it's Resident Evil. Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 were very steeped in survival horror.
Right.
It was limited ammo. It was jump scares. It was escaping the enemy. And then Resident Evil 4 came out, which for some people is the best video game of all time.
Right.
And it became an action genre.
Right.
With little shocks here and there, but the deeper you fall into that hole, the less you lose who you are. So Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 were all action-based to the point where there was no horror to be found, and it became problematic.
An action horror, I would say.
Yeah, action horror.
Yeah.
Right?
Because it's like you're still battling monsters, but then the final boss isn't that tough. It's just a bunch of like cutscenes put together.
Yeah, it's a bunch of button presses and timed responses. Yeah. And you're fighting said monsters with a damn machine gun. It's like you're so overpowered that there's no sense of fear.
Right.
You know, but then we have Resident Evil 7, which should have won Game of the Year because it took everything back to its roots. Limited ammo, first person. It was the first Resident Evil game to be first person, and it just brought the terror. It brought the atmosphere. So I would say it worked for Resident Evil until it didn't, and then it had to come back full circle.
Yeah, another example I just thought about it. I believe is Fable 3, where it's like it starts off with you trying to get back into the city, I believe, or like you conquer everything, and then it turns into a weird city management game.
Yeah, like what was that? It's freaking strange, dude. It's like Metroid did the same thing, but it wasn't for the better. That was actually for the worse.
Right.
Metroid Prime was great, but then it mutated into this horrible first-person kind of shooter kind of atmosphere, and it took all the Metroid-y stuff away from it.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Cool.
Yeah.
Cool beans. And the final question of the night. Has there ever been something that was extremely popular at the time that you actively ignored? You did not want to be part of it?
I would say currently it's the majority of Marvel movies or superhero movies.
Man. Blasphemy,
It's like I don't. It's not like it started off with me like actively ignoring it, but it was like there were so many movies out there out the time. This was like right when Guardians of the Galaxy first came out, the first one, and by the time I was able to watch the first half of it, there was already three or five other Marvel or superhero movies that I missed out on.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't have the time to watch all of these, and it's unfortunate. And now there's like Netflix shows, and now there's Hulu shows. Yeah.
Right. So it's like here's the thing, and I'm gonna do mine kind of quickly. It's Doctor Who. And I really try to get into Doctor Who, and I feel your pain. I'm not going to knock Doctor Who because I know there's some really good stuff in it. But where do you start? Like, I don't want to start from the beginning with Doctor Who. And I started with the Eccleston Doctor Who. That's the one I was like, all right, it's on Netflix. I'm going to check it out. And and it's very referential. It's almost like watching anime if you're not into the whole Japanese like culture thing. It's like watching a BBC show. You're not familiar with the cultural impact that show has on the UK, so it's like, I get it, it's awesome, and I know the plot and stuff, but I missed the boat on that, man. Like, I really wish I could have stuck with it, but unfortunately I wasn't born in 1955 where I could have caught the original episodes or whatever, so it's like, and I don't want to go back because it's a lot. It's so much, damn. And they all kind of talk to each other. You know what I mean? It's like each new Doctor is its own thing, but it's not.
Right.
So I totally feel your pain with the Marvel stuff because it's an avalanche and it's not stopping anytime soon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't touch Doctor Who, and all those hooligans, as we'll call them.
Yeah, the Whovillians, man.
Yeah, Whovillians. It's like when I tell them that you would think the level of commitment of fans to Doctor Who are the same amount of fans that are committed to the band Rush. It's like if you say you don't like either of those two things, they then feel like it's their duty to start telling you why you should like it.
Well, that's any fan base, man. That's the DC acolyte trying to steer a Marvel head to like read a DC comic, man. Some people just aren't going to hear it. And some people's like me, I'm like, I would love to be a Whovillian, man. It seems like an interesting universe, but I'm not going to sit here and watch 13 seasons of a TV show to catch up. I got other things to do, man. Gotta go to work and shit, life. But it's just one of those things where if you're passionate about it, you'll make the time. But at the same time, it's like, I just missed the boat on that, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I got Hell's Kitchen to watch. I don't have time to watch Doctor Who.
Jeez Louise. I got The Exorcist by Fox to watch.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, Chihuahua, man. What are you looking forward to this week, man?
Hell's Kitchen episode coming out on Friday.
Gordon Ramsay yell at me, man. I want him to yell at us all. yell so hard.
I'm close to prestiging one of my character on Call of Duty. Thinking about doing that. I want to play Elder Scrolls Online a little bit today, or like this week,
Nice.
and also Christmas.
Right, we got to do the Christmas cast. I'm not going to say exactly what that is yet, but it'll be dumb. So
I still have no clue what it's going to be.
Me neither. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, Christmas, man. Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Festivus.
Exactly.
You know, happy holidays, man. But
happy Boxing Day.
Happy Boxing Day. Put up your dukes. I was interested in playing some Assassin's Creed Origins, but the little event they had, I finished this morning before work. So I'm like, oh, that was fun, I guess. So
a true gamer playing before work in the morning.
I needed to test it. I needed to test something, so you know how that goes. Definitely want to play some more Rise of the Tomb Raider. Get a bit deeper in that so I can talk about it more. Got to do some last minute Christmas shopping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just human stuff to wrap out this year. Got to prepare for a lot of stuff for next year, especially when it comes to this show. So just kind of mentally mapping out what I want to do, what events I want to go to, and talking to people who do it and kind of see how they do it and just piggyback off their experiences. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Good times. Any parting thoughts, Winter, before we call it an evening?
May your Gungans never appear, and may your Star Treks always have Tarantino in it. There you go.
Man. Don't say that, because, you know, Darth Jar Jar is going to force choke you from across the galaxy, dude.
Yeah.
You know, he's a Sith Lord of the highest caliber.
Oh, that's the final thing I want to say. Another movie pitch. They follow Jar Jar Binks after Revenge of the Sith. And it could be like a redemption story of like, Misa didn't know he was part of the dark side.
Misa not the one.
Misa now dead inside.
Misa not the one you fuck with.
Oh, jeez.
Misa gonna cut you good. Jar Jar's now playing. He has an eye patch like Odin and shit, and he has like 2 giant like beasts that he controls and rides.
Nice.
You know, Jar Jar's not playing around, dude.
Hey, there is like canon out there of what happened to him, where he became like a fool, like considered like the village idiot.
Oh, that's the worst thing ever, dude. I don't want to close out the show on that. That's horrible. Where he becomes a joke and he dies alone on like some random planet.
Yeah.
It's super depressing, dude. Oh, I gotta end it on better news than that. Okay. Watch anime, kids. Just watch anime. Watch all the animes. Whatever you like, there's an anime for you. You like horror? Watch Death Note. You like action? Watch Dragon Ball. You like love? Watch Love Hina.
You like comedy? Watch Seinfeld.
If you like comedy, watch Seinfeld. It's on every night. I don't care where you live. It's probably on every night around 10 o'clock, so just watch it.
I don't want to be a pirate.
I don't want to be a pirate. Okay. Oh, man. You just put me on the spot. Here's to feeling good all the time. Remember that scene where Kramer smoked a cigarette and drank the beer at the exact same time, and he was taking hits off the cigarette while drinking?
Yeah.
He was like, that dude was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Whatever turns you on, man."
Yeah. That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, he was like, "Whatever turns you on." He had this big ass like mole hair sweater on. Shit was weird. Oh man. On that note, I am of course your host, Mike G. You can always find this podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. And if you're listening to this podcast on iTunes, do me a huge solid and leave a comment, leave a 5-star rating. Let us know how you're liking the show. Give us any suggestions. They will be taken and they will be definitely looked over because I want the show to get better. And it's only going to get better if we work together. So please definitely take a second out of your day to rate the show, subscribe, keep in touch with us because we're only getting better. And I want to thank you for listening. And as always, I'm going to ask you to take that one step beyond.